my life before coming a faithful tither, my finances was up and down, I can say, because before coming to the church, I used to deal drugs, I can say, so that was my way of income. But then coming to the church, it was something where I completely had to stop because I understood that wasn't the life that I wanted to live anymore. The time that I realized that selling drugs wasn't a good thing was because I understood that I was ruining people's lives. If I want my life to become better, I need to stop ruining everybody else's life. And dealing drugs is something constantly is messing up someone else's life. So that's when I understood for myself, I wouldn't want that for me. So that's when I completely stopped. And through becoming a faithful tither, I received my first job. Which was a really low pay. But obviously I was working the hours, I was doing everything that I needed to do, and I was made redundant. I lost my job, and I was actually newly married. So my wife was working part-time as she was a student at the time. So everything basically dropped on her, and her wage only covered the rent. And that was my worst time because I was applying for jobs. I probably went to over 100 interviews and nothing had happened at all. And I kept going. That was a time where I said, whatever comes into my hands, I'm gonna separate my tithe and I'm gonna return to the altar and see if this actually is what they say it is. To be honest, so the first time I heard about tithe, to be honest, I thought, oh yeah, this church is gonna steal my money. I'm not gonna give my money to them. That was my sincere thought of it at first. And then when it was shown to me in the Bible, that's when I understood, cool, if this is gonna return to God, I'm not giving it to man, I'm not giving it to the pastor that's there, I'm not giving it to the church, I'm giving it to God. And that's when I took it for myself to say, I'm gonna be faithful and I'm gonna do what I have to do. So the day that I remember giving my first tithe it was just about £10 at the time, £10. I remember I got my envelope, I got my favorite perfume, I sprayed the money, put it in the envelope, I dressed my best because I said to God, if this is gonna bless me, I wanna give my best to you. I don't wanna just do it half-heartedly. So I gave everything that I had, and even the way I dressed, I presented it all to God. It wasn't overnight for me. When I started to see change, it was not overnight at all. It was something that was gradually happening. I saw change in even my character, the way I was as an individual. I saw change in everything, all the areas of my life. And I remember getting my first job, from being a drug dealer, from having no skills to having a job that is going to give me the skills for me to move on with my life. My life started to progress in this way. And from then on, I kept being faithful no matter what. So whatever came into my hand, could have only been even £1, I would always separate my tithe. And through that, I received a much better job. I remember the time where I received 3 offers, and each offer was offering me different prices. So at the end of it, I got the opportunity to choose at the highest pay rate that I wanted. My financial life today and compared to then, I say it's 100 times better, literally 100 times better. Today I'm earning much more than I was back then. Me and my family never used to get along. Today we got a much better relationship than we did back then. And I was able to buy my first car, literally buy it out cash. We're able to now, applying for our first house to buy our first property. And my first tithe compared to what it is now is at least 300-fold, way more than what my first ever tithe to what it is now is much more. In this crisis, I believe giving your tithe was something crucial because a lot of people lost their jobs through this crisis. COVID-19 came, a lot of people lost their jobs. But for me, it was like, it didn't bother me at all, not in any way. And it didn't touch my finances in any way whatsoever. Through this crisis, I was even paid more than I was before through this crisis. And for me, I say it's an honor to be faithful. And you can't speak about being faithful without mentioning the Holy Spirit. You can't speak about being faithful to God without mentioning the Holy Spirit there. That's what I believe. And my non-monetized blessings, I can say, it was me having the Holy Spirit. That was the most important thing to me. Out of everything, yes, I've got the money, I've got everything that I want now, but the most important thing is the Holy Spirit, because without the Holy Spirit, I'll be honest, I would not be able at all to be faithful in the way that I was. The Holy Spirit is the one that kept me going. Every single day, times where I woke up and I said, I just can't go another day. I can't go another day struggling like this, but I kept going because of the Spirit that God gave to me. I'm a tither in this house because it is the house of God. It is the gates of heaven.